Welcome, listeners, to a journey rooted in timeless wisdom. Today, we're diving into a topic that resonates with anyone who's ever faced the sharp sting of arrogance: how to handle arrogant people with poise, dignity, and strength. Arrogance can be a jarring force, whether it's a boastful colleague, a condescending acquaintance, or even a stranger who seems to think they're above every O'Neill's. It's tempting to snap back, to match their energy with fire. But there's a better way, a wiser way, a Stoic way. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium and refined by thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, teaches us to master our emotions, focus on what we can control, and respond to life's challenges with clarity and calm. In this script, we'll explore 5 Stoic-inspired comebacks to handle arrogant people, not to win an argument or put them in their place, but to maintain your peace, protect your integrity, and navigate these encounters with wisdom. Each comeback is more than just words. It's a mindset, a practice, grounded in Stoic principles like self-discipline, humility, and detachment from external validation. We'll break down each one, explore why it works, and provide real-world examples of how to use it effectively. By the end, you'll have a toolkit to face arrogance without losing your cool. Let's begin. Respond with silence and presence. The first Stoic comeback isn't about what you say, it's about what you don't say. Silence. In a world that glorifies quick wit and sharp retorts, silence might seem like surrender. But in Stoic philosophy, it's a powerful tool. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone's arrogance fills the room with their self-important words, your silence can be a fortress. Why does silence work? Arrogant people often thrive on reactions. They want to provoke you, to see you flustered or defensive. By choosing silence, you deny them that satisfaction. You're not ignoring them out of weakness. You're choosing to stay grounded, to focus on your inner peace rather than their noise. Silence, paired with calm presence, think steady eye contact, a relaxed posture, and a neutral expression sends a message. Your words don't control me. How to use it? Imagine you're in a meeting, and a colleague interrupts you to boast about their latest success, dismissing your input with a smug, "Well, I've already handled this better than anyone else could." Instead of arguing, pause, look at them calmly, nod slightly, and say nothing. Let the moment pass. Your silence shows you're not rattled, and it forces them to confront their own behavior without you saying a word. Let's paint a picture. Sarah, a project manager, is presenting her team's work when Tom, a self-proclaimed star employee, cuts in. "Sarah, no offense, but my approach last quarter was far more effective. You should have consulted me." The room tenses. Sarah could snap back, but instead, she pauses, looks at Tom with a steady gaze, and smiles faintly. She doesn't engage. The silence lingers, and Tom fidgets, his arrogance exposed by the lack of reaction. Sarah then calmly continues her presentation, unshaken. Why it's Stoic. This approach embodies Epictetus' teaching. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Silence reflects self-control and detachment from the need to prove yourself. It's a reminder that you don't need to win every verbal sparring match to maintain your dignity. Tips for success: practice mindfulness to stay calm in the moment. A deep breath can anchor you. Use body language to convey confidence. Stand tall, keep your face neutral. Don't let silence become passive-aggressive. It's about staying composed, not sulking. By mastering silence, you reclaim your power. Arrogance thrives on attention. Starve it with your calm presence. Redirect with a thoughtful question. Or second Stoic comeback is about turning the tables, not with aggression, but with curiosity. Arrogant people often make bold claims or dismissive remarks to assert dominance. Instead of challenging them directly, ask a thoughtful question that shifts the focus. Seneca said, "He who asks questions is a fool for a minute. He who does not remains a fool forever." A well-placed question can expose the cracks in their arrogance without you needing to say much. Why does this work? Questions invite reflection. They force the arrogant person to justify their stance, often revealing their lack of depth or logic. Plus, it keeps you in control of the conversation without escalating into conflict. You're not attacking, you're inviting clarity, which aligns with the Stoic value of seeking truth over ego. How to use it: suppose someone says, "I'm the best at this, and nobody else comes close." Instead of arguing, respond with, "That's an interesting perspective." Can you share what specific strategies make your approach so effective? This question is neutral, respectful, but it puts the spotlight on them to back up their claim. Often, they'll stumble, revealing their arrogance as hollow. Picture a dinner party. John, a guest, brags loudly about his investment prowess. I've made more money in stocks than anyone here could dream of. The table grows quiet, annoyed by his boast. Instead of rolling her eyes, Lisa, another guest, smiles and asks, "That's impressive, John. What's one key decision that led to your success?" John fumbles, muttering vague generalities. The conversation moves on, and his arrogance loses its grip. Why it's Stoic. This comeback reflects the Stoic practice of focusing on reason. By asking a question, you're seeking understanding rather than fueling conflict. It also embodies humility. You're not assuming you know everything, but you're open to learning, even from an arrogant person. Tips for success: keep your tone genuine, not sarcastic. Arrogance thrives on confrontation, not curiosity. Ask open-ended questions that require thought, not yes or no answers. Be prepared to listen. If they answer well, acknowledge it calmly. If they don't, let their words speak for themselves. A thoughtful question isn't just a comeback, it's a mirror, reflecting the truth back to the speaker. Acknowledge without agreeing. The third Stoic comeback is about acknowledging the other person's perspective without endorsing their arrogance. This is a subtle art. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth. But when dealing with arrogance, you don't always need to correct or agree. You can simply acknowledge their view and move forward. Why does this work? Arrogant people often seek validation. By acknowledging their statement without agreeing, you diffuse their need for conflict while staying true to yourself. It's a way of saying, I hear you, but I'm not drawn into your game. How to use it: imagine a coworker says, I single-handedly saved this project. Unlike some people, instead of defending yourself, respond with, I appreciate your contribution to the project's success. This acknowledges their claim without confirming it or escalating the situation. You stay calm, and the conversation shifts. A family reunion. Uncle Bob boasts, I've always been the smartest in this family. None of you could match my career. Instead of arguing, his niece Emily responds, it's great to hear about your achievements, Uncle Bob. She doesn't agree that he's the smartest, but her acknowledgement diffuses his need to keep boasting. The family moves on to other topics. This approach aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control. Your response. By acknowledging without agreeing, you avoid unnecessary conflict and maintain your inner tranquility. It's a way of practicing indifference to the opinions of others. As Epictetus advised, you are not your reputation. Tips for success: keep your response brief and neutral to avoid sounding patronizing. Avoid sarcasm or insincerity. Your tone should be calm and genuine. Shift the conversation to a neutral topic afterward. To avoid dwelling on their arrogance, acknowledging without agreeing is like a verbal sidestep. It keeps you balanced while letting the other person's momentum carry them forward. Reframe with wisdom. Fourth Stoic comeback is about reframing the situation with a broader perspective. Arrogance often stems from insecurity or a narrow view of the world. By offering a wise, reflective comment, you can shift the conversation to a higher plane. Seneca wrote, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. Reframing delays your emotional reaction and invites a more thoughtful exchange. Does this work? Arrogance often focuses on the self, me, my achievements, my superiority. By reframing the conversation to a universal truth or shared value, you gently challenge their mindset without direct confrontation. It's a way of reminding them of what truly matters. How to use it: if someone brags, I'm the only one who can do this job right, you might respond, it's amazing how everyone's unique strengths come together to make a project successful. This reframes their individual boast into a team-oriented perspective, subtly undermining their arrogance while promoting a bigger truth. A community event. A neighbor, Karen, boasts, my garden is the best in the neighborhood. Nobody else has my touch. Instead of competing, Mike responds, it's incredible how much beauty everyone's gardens bring to our community. Karen's arrogance is gently deflated, and the conversation shifts to a more collaborative tone. This comeback reflects the Stoic practice of focusing on the bigger picture: virtue, community, or truth over personal ego. It's a way of practicing wisdom and detachment, reminding yourself that arrogance is often a fleeting distraction from what's truly important. Tips for success. Use a reframe that feels natural and relevant to the situation. Keep your tone warm and inclusive to avoid sounding preachy. Prepared to move on quickly. The goal isn't to lecture but to shift the energy. Reframing with wisdom is like turning a spotlight from their ego to a shared truth. It elevates the moment and keeps you grounded. Respond with humor and humilizer. Final Stoic comeback is perhaps the most disarming. Humor paired with humility. Stoics weren't dour philosophers. They valued joy and perspective. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." A light-hearted, humble response can deflate arrogance without malice, showing that you don't take their behavior or yourself too seriously. Why does this work? Humor cuts through tension like a knife. It disarms the arrogant person by showing you're not threatened, while humility keeps you grounded in stoic virtue. Together, they create a response that's both powerful and approachable. How to use it. If someone says, "I'm basically carrying this team," you might respond with a chuckle. "Well, I'm just happy to be along for the ride." This acknowledges their claim with humor while subtly sidestepping their arrogance. In a classroom, a student, Jake, boasts, "I aced this test without even studying. I'm just naturally gifted." His classmate Mia laughs and says, "Man, I wish I had your natural talent. I had to study all weekend." Her humor diffuses Jake's boast, and her humility keeps the exchange friendly. Jake grins, and the moment passes without conflict. This comeback embodies the Stoic principle of not taking external judgments too seriously. By using humor, you show that you're not attached to your ego, and by staying humble, you model the virtue of self-awareness. It's a reminder that life's too short to get caught up in arrogance, yours or anyone else's. Tips for success. Keep your humor kind, not cutting. The goal is to lighten the mood, not mock. Pair humor with genuine humility to avoid sounding sarcastic. Know your audience. Humor works best when it fits the context and relationship. Humor and humility are like a shield and sword together. They protect your peace and disarm arrogance with grace. And there you have it, 5 Stoic comebacks to handle arrogant people calmly. Silence and presence, thoughtful questions, acknowledging without agreeing, reframing with wisdom, and humor with humility. Each one is a tool, not to defeat others, but to protect your own peace and live with virtue. Stoicism teaches us that the only true victory is over ourselves, our reactions, our emotions, our need for approval. Arrogant people will always exist, but they don't have to disrupt your inner calm. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By responding with stoic wisdom, you not only navigate these encounters with grace, but also grow stronger in your own character. So, the next time arrogance crosses your path, take a breath. Remember these comebacks, practice them, refine them, make them your own. You'll find that handling arrogance calmly isn't just about dealing with others, it's about mastering yourself. And that, my friends, is the Stoic way. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, stay calm, stay wise, and stay true.